Hey, what's happening? What's popping, guys? We're going to be talking over the NPL Wars. This is going to be a series of 3 games, me versus my opponent, SheerForce YouTube. Check his YouTube channel out in the description below. He is the owner of the other NPL, and he's probably the second best battler that they have. Now, the best battler they have, I think, is unarguably their, 3-time final going to, Aki officially has been to the finals 2 times and won, and I think he's in the finals now. But SheerForce is their second best player without a doubt in my eyes, and he's definitely got the power behind him with drafting a very interesting draft, being the Mega Metacham Kiram core, 3 wall breakers and sticky webs, and I have to somehow face something like that, and the team that I drafted is nothing but leftovers. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna beat any opponent that decides they want to face me, and I'm looking out for my team. I know that some of the guys like Gypsy King wants to pick nothing but 7, and so we get a total of 7 mons that we kind of did call for our teams, and it's not really drafting them in order, but it's kind of like, hey, I want this mon, I want this mon, and kind of, just going there. So, certain guys want 7 OU mons. I'm like, you know what, just give me the leftovers. I have a PU mon rocking down here, and guess what, it's going to be putting the finest of work. So my team is going to be Mega Altaria, Starmie, Tyranitar, Nidoking, Kinkeldor, Crobat, and Stoutland, just kind of the leftovers. And mons I kind of just liked. The synergy is I mean, it's kind of there, kind of not. I'm very familiar with Mega Altaria, so that's cool. And something that I immediately noticed versus his team is that his team's a little bit weak to Scarf Tyranitar. For example, I can Pursuit Trap the Gengar and kind of Pursuit Trap the Mega Medi if I'm feeling really real. Or if I get it to a range where Pursuit Trap kills him, whether he stays in or switches out, so that's very good. Kiram, if it is carrying the Focus Blast, I can outspeed the everything on his team, and because of Earthquake, I could actually hit something like the Klefki. So his team, like, Klefki walls my whole entire team. Let me explain to you how Klefki is so annoying to this team. For example, Sand. Sand is very limited because of Klefki. Because one, he could be running like some weird Rain Dance Klefki just because you can kind of counter my sand turns, and Klefki, if it has Magnet Rise, which I wouldn't see why it would not, Earthquake Mega Altaria, just Magnet Rises on that. Magnet Rises on the Tyranitar. Easily switches into Cheetar. And he's got a Dawn Fan for Tyranitar. Keep that in mind. Klefki can, Earth Power does nothing to the Klefki if it Magnet Rises. So I'm forced to bring coverage additionally to hit the Klefki, which is very kind of problematic for me to an extent. Kinkeldor. I mean, Klefki can hit it with Play Roughs if it does have that, and if Kinkeldor gets weakened, it can't take hits that well from the Gengar or the Tyranitar. So I need Kinkeldor at a very good HP to take hits, and Klefki walls, the Crobat, the Stoutland. So I really have to work around the matchup and cannot allow my opponent to get up sticky webs versus me, because if he does, I have a spinner. He has a spin blocker, and obviously I can kill it, but the Starmie can kill the Gengar, but I have to do specific predictions. So for example, if he gets up webs and Starmie's slow, and he can just hard switch out into the Gengar if it's versus a Dawn Fan or a Klefki, and I have to predict the spin or the Scald or the Hydro or the Psyshock or this or that, and which is not good for me at all. And a lot of the things on his team can one-shot me, like for example Fusion Bolt, Thunder Punch, Shadow Balls, Thunders. Starmie does not, it doesn't have the best defenses, even though it's very good defensively in the OU tier, if it's max AP, max speed, because of its speed tier. If it loses its speed, it's frail. to an extent. Tyranitar though, being able to outspeed his whole team, I want to abuse that. Nidoking, it's a cool mon. I like Nidoking. With the coverage that I'm gonna have, it does be able to 2-hit KO everything on his team, bar like maybe Eevee, Donphan, or like very bulky Kyurem, which is, you know, kind of problematic as well. But Conkeldurr can check a couple of his mons. So though I would say he has a lot of good mons against me, and so I never count myself out. So we're going to be seeing how can I deal with these things. So immediately you see Scarf Tyranitar. The speed there is to, now I could do, you know, a couple mind games. So for example, Mega Medicham, it only needs speed to outspeed the Nidoking. But I don't know at this point in time if he's a 252 type guy. I don't know if he speed creeps. I don't know the guy. So I got to make sure I want to, no matter what EVs he has, I always outspeed his whole team. At least for game 1. You know, game 2 or game 3, I can kind of edit it, because if I can go Adamant Choice Scarf Tyranitar, that's even better for me. So you just got to keep that in mind. You know, this coverage, being able to Pursuit Trap something like Gengar. Now I actually expect him to also have something like a Colbur Berry Gengar, just because I do have, you know, Crunch on Stoutland and you know, Knockoff on Conkeldurr, which forces me to not be able to spam Drain Punch, because if I spam Drain Punch, he goes in Gengar, and then if he goes Gengar, then I knock off, then he has the Colbur Berry, and then it's just annoying, because now I have to take damage on the Conkeldurr, which means the Kyurem Black and other things can OHKO me. So I decided to bring the Unnerve ability, because I don't need Sand Bar. I mean, it's nice to take Ice Beams from Kyurem a little bit better, or, you know, maybe take a Bug Buzz from Galvantula with the Sand Up, but I just think that for game 1, the Unnerve, just being able to beat any of his berries. I don't know if he's a berry type of guy. He could be carrying the like the berry for what is it, Chardy Berry or something like that for Kyurem, so you never know. I want to have Unnerve game 1. The other 2 games, I'm probably not going to bring Unnerve, but I want for him to account for it. The next thing that I have is the Mega Altaria. So I decided to not even bring Earthquake on Mega Altaria. What are you doing? He has a Klefki, he has a Tentacruel, and you're not even going to bring Earthquake? The reason why is because if he's going to bring Tentacruel, I expect it to probably have something like a Shuka Berry, and Klefki has Magnet Rise, and I have to predict around it, and it has Thunder Wave and this and that, which can be very, very annoying. Also, because I don't have to run Earthquake on here, it could also run something like a Heal Bell, which if he is able to Prankster Thunder Wave my team down, having Heal Bell in the back is very nice for me. Now this Altaria does not, you know, 1v1 his Klefki, and I actually could make a variant that could, but I decided, you know what, Mega Altaria, it doesn't have the best matchup because he's got Gunk Shot and Play Rough down here, you know, which is very weird, but you only have to run minimal coverage. You know, he's got Gengar that OHKOs my Altaria, he's got, you know, Iron Head and Ice Beam, Kyurem Black, he's got Ice Punch Mega Medicham, he's got Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Tentacruel. Now, I mean, it does wall the Galvantula to an extent, but like everything else kind of 1v1s the Altaria, and I don't know if he's going to account for it much, because he's like, oh, he's probably not going to bring it, this and that. No, Altaria is still going to put it in the finest of work. Hopefully, I mean, that's the intent, because I mean, Double Edge still, it 2 KOs the Tentacruel unless it's like max defense, and it actually 3 KOs the Klefki. The next mon that I have is the Starmie. The Starmie, once again, is very good in the sense it outspeeds his whole team. I can get a Thunder Wave off on the Kyurem Black. I mean, that's the only thing that I can really do damage to, because of the, you know, Psyshock is 0 to the Kyurem Black, but you know, Thunder Waving is a cool move. Psyshock, Scald. You know, Starmie is going to be very important for checking, once again, the Mega Medicham, because I do have the Walk-On Berry. I don't know what kind of coverage he's going to be running. He could be carrying Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Zen Headbutt. I don't know. I got to see what is he going to do. So I decided to bring Walk-On Berry, because if he is Ice Punched at the Altaria and Crobat and not Zen Headbutt, you know, I mean, these are all things I got to keep in mind. But you know, being able to kind of wall that, you know, the Donphan to an extent if it's not like super offensive. I mean, Adamant Knockoff, if he is, you know, offensive, is going to be doing way too much, so I got to keep in mind for that. But I mean, Starmie still has a decent matchup, I guess. Yeah, sorta. I have Yachi Berry on Crobat. Why? Well, because I don't know what coverage he's gonna be running. Now, if he's Zen on Crobat, no kidding, it's gonna one-shot me. But if he does have, Ice Shard Donphan or Ice Punch Medicham, or even Ice Beam Tentacruel, but I mean, this thing could already take those Ice Beams from Tentacruel. And Ice Beam Kieran Black, it could take one. So yeah, berries are cool in League format. Brave Bird hits everything except for Donphan and Klefki, which I do have the Super Fang for. I don't want to bring Special Crobat, at least right now, because I mean, Giga Drain and Heat Wave hit those things. Kind of a lure set, but like, I don't want to be running that set right now. Defog, because I can't even bring Rapid Spin on Starmie. The niche of why even have Starmie, I can't even use it. So I'm forced to bring Defog because of his massive Sticky Webs threat. And, just something to keep in mind. And then Roost, it's like, why would I not have Roost when I can Roost kind of on the, well, I can't even really Roost on the Donphan, because it's like, if I Roost and then he goes for Earthquake, I gotta kind of play around with that. So that, I mean, that's kind of scary. But maybe I can Brave Bird as he goes for Earthquake, predicting my Roost. So but obviously I'm going to be having Roost. So next is the Kinkeldor. By the way, the better coverage is going to be running Earthquake on there because it does hit Klefki for super effective damage. Earthquake does more to the Tentacruel, and also the Mega Medicham, which Kinkeldor cannot actually do crap to the Mega Medicham, because like, I got, it resists the stabs and then knockoff. It's a Mega, and it's not even, it's a fighting type and psychic, and then Thunder Punch, I guess. I mean, Thunder Punch does 2 a KO, so it doesn't really make the difference if I do have Earthquake or Thunder Punch. They still 2 a KO, but like 2 is like, I'm never going to stay in Mega Medicham versus Kinkeldor, because I can't really sack Kinkeldor until I get rid of the Kieran Black and the Gengar to an extent. I do have the Tyranitar that does resist the dual stabs, but it's like, I don't want him to mindlessly just click Focus Blast, just predicting that easy Tyranitar. I want to force him. It's like, I have the Kinkeldor too that you have to account for. So the spread here is able to live anything but choice. If he's choice Specs Kyurem, or if he's choice Banded Kyurem, Kinkeldor gets to a KO regardless of the EVs that I run. But I decided if he is going to be running Life Orb Dragon Claw, I can take 2 of those. If he's Life Orb Ice Beams, I can take 2 of those. That's what the bulk is for, and then the rest obviously in offense, because it's being able to 2 a KO pretty much everything bar like Donphan and Klefki, but I mean, it still does very good damage versus them. Nidoking. The reason why I have the Choice Scarf on Nidoking is to do a little bit of luring. Now, I'm probably never, I mean, Stealth Rocks are just there to be there, because like, I can potentially late game rocks versus him to break the sashes or the chip damage, or just pressuring the Kieran Black a little bit more. But the coverage here is pretty much all I need. I mean, I could be running a little bit better coverage. Like, I don't have a move to hit the Kieran Black that well than Earth Power, so I could bring... but anyways, I decided to bring Earth Power, Flamethrower, and Shadow Ball because, once again, Magnet Rise Klefki, I'm kind of forced to bring Flamethrower on your boy Nidoking. Earth Power is just going to be my general stab. And then Shadow Ball is going to nab things like the Gengar that can kind of switch into most things from Nidoking. Can't switch into a Shadow Ball. It does get boosted by the SheerForce ability too. And Mega Medicham usually is safe versus the Nidoking because it gets the outspeeds, but like I get the outspeed on you and I can one-shot you with the Shadow Ball. I mean, Earth Power still does a ton, but if he's like, if it's 1v1, I'm going to click Shadow Ball and it's going to kill it. So that's going to be the team, and we're going to be going straight into game 1 in the battle. So let's see how we do. Alright, so we're at the battle and we're ready to go. The thing that I noticed, he does not have the Tentacruel. Everything else on his team is the Mons that he's drafted. And immediately I'm thinking, alright, I want to prevent him from going for Sticky Webs from the start. or just getting up hazards. And I don't want to be in the back initially from him just getting up hazards with, with sticky webs or Donphan, stealth rock. So I'm gonna decide, you know what, I'm gonna lead off with my Mega Altaria. It has a decent matchup versus the majority of this team, and he leads off with the Klefki, which is a little bit annoying, but he's gonna reveal Magnet Rise super early here. I mean, I already knew it was coming, and I kind of don't understand the Magnet Rise play. Maybe just being able to Magnet Rise as, I mean, I would never stay in with the Klefki when I have, Natural Cure Starmie. I have, the Nidoking, other mods. I don't understand really the Magnet Rise play. I think Spikes, if anything, was a better play, or just going for all-out damage. So he's gonna switch out, and here's an interesting play. Because I go for Flamethrower because that's the only thing that Nidoking can actually hit the Klefki with. Shadow Ball to 0, like I have no reason to go for Shadow Ball or to even reveal it. So I'm gonna click Flamethrower. It's gonna do a lot of damage to his Klefki, but he's gonna go Donphan here, and I'm assuming he was trying to sack his Donphan from the start, which is a very odd play because it's like if I Flamethrower plus Ice Beam or Flamethrower plus Earth Power or whatever. Earth Power is actually a roll from here. Depending on his EVs, it's essentially a roll here. As you can see, Flamethrower does still do a very good amount, showing that he is offensive right off the bat. I'm not going to stay in, and I'm actually going to go out into my Mega Altaria because it's going to put a lot of pressure on his team going for double edges here. So he gets up his rocks, which is bad for me, and I'm just going to fire off a double edge. Bam! 3-hit KO, except he has lefties, so it's kind of not really a 3-hit KO, but I still am able to get off massive damage onto the Klefki, and I'm going to double edge again. Now here is why I went for double edge. A couple of reasons. One, it puts it now in range of a Earthquake from Tyranitar, which Choice Scarf Tyranitar definitely could sweep. Even with, Choice Scarf Earthquake can potentially sweep if I weaken his team a little bit more. And just, all around, like, I need to weaken the Klefki also for, the Crobat. The Nidoking kind of gets walled by it if, well, I have to predict around the Klefki, and Thunder Wave's really annoying for my team, so I just want to get a lot of damage off. And also in return, Mega Altaria isn't doing too much versus him because he's offensive Donphan, revealing from the Flamethrower damage. Obviously I have no problem killing the Galvantula. It's not offensively, it's not that big of a deal to me. And Kyurem, Medicham, and Gengar do outspeed, so it's like I'm just gonna get damage off on the Klefki. And so I decide actually here to switch as he's gonna go out into his Donphan. And this sucks for me because it's like I might as well just continue to I didn't really need Mega Altaria as much as I thought it did. I should have took step back and realized like Mega Altaria isn't doing too much versus him. But he's gonna be able to go out to Donphan, which once again, double edge maybe what it would have put him at a very low HP, and which is very good for me. So I'm gonna go out into my Starmie because I can take an Earthquake, and once again he's obviously offensive. That did a ton of damage. As he's going to go out into Gengar, and I will actually want to be in my Starmie as much as possible because it means that Medicham can't come in because I can just Thunder Wave, Scald, whatever. Threatens, it outspeeds, and kind of just Scalds or Thunder Waves his team down here. As he's going to go hard into Gengar, predicting me to go for maybe a Rapid Spin or Recover. As now he's going to reveal that he is actually Choice Scarf Gengar. Very good prep on my opponent, SheerForce, because what that does, by him having Choice Scarf Gengar, that outspeeds, my whole team. Obviously it's gonna outspeed things like my Crobat though, and Dragon Dance Altaria after a single Dragon Dance, and most importantly, I thought he was gonna bring Colbur Berry, but he's actually a Choice Scarf Gengar, which is another way to kind of deal with Scarftar to an extent, but it's like you also have to kind of predict around it. But You know, good prep by having Gengar scarfed, and I gotta watch out for those scarf Gengars for the next 2 games. So I can, you know, obviously he's not gonna stay in, but I'm just gonna click Brave Bird to chip at his team, as you know he's forced to switch out, as I'm going to continue to show, like, obviously my switch in. So here it's a roll, and it's kind of a roll in my favor because he is offensive. So I'm gonna decide, you know what, I'm gonna try to get the roll. It's definitely my favor, and just kill off the Donphan here. So he's gonna go out to his Galvantula. The reason why is because he can live any one hit. If I'm Ice Beam, if I'm this, if I'm that, he can just go on to Galvantula. He probably has a Sash, and he can just get up his sticky webs and kind of go from there, because he thinks my spinner is dead, but it's not a spinner. I have Defog on the Crobat. So I'm actually Choice Scarf, and I'm able to manage to knock that out. So, you know, unfortunately, I'm going to have to switch out, and I think I make another misplay here. I think the correct play to make was just sack the Altaria. I still need Conkeldurr for his Kyurem. You know, obviously I have, you know, a bunch of mons that outspeed the Kyurem, but I don't know. I mean, I also made this play because I knew I could, you know, live 2 hits, and I can still get Mach Punch damage off on the Kyurem, but probably wasn't my best play. My best play, I thought, in my mind, now watching the replay, is just sack the Altaria. Like, come on, bro. I don't need the Mega Altaria, as I can live 2, just go for a knockoff, and get rid of the Gengar. That is Choice Scarf. So he's going to go out to Mega Medicham, and it's like, alright, well, I got to sack out my Conkeldurr. And he shows the Zen Headbutt, which is very, very good information for me later in the game. So he's going to predict me to go for, like, Defog or Roost or U-Turn. I don't understand this play. I don't know why he's staying with the Mega Medicham, but he did. And that's good for me, because, like, Tyranitar does outspeed the Medicham, but this doesn't one-shot it. Nidoking only one-shots it with the Shadow Ball. I'm paralyzed. I don't understand him sacking Medicham, but, you know, obviously that's very, very good for me. So things are very looking well for Scarftar and Scarf Nidoking, and I'm like, alright. Because in my eyes, I thought he choked the game away right here. So I'm like, alright, now I have a chance. I'm kind of getting back into this game. If I weaken Kyurem, obviously Yashi doesn't matter. Alright, okay, so I see his Life Orb. I can weaken the Kyurem, and I'm gonna go out and Tyranitar because, and I mean, I should have Cure. I mean, he has. I thought the Stone Edge switch in was kind of obvious, but I make a misplay here. I actually go for a Crunch. Yeah, I was just thinking, for most Kyurems, I'm pretty sure that would have killed. I didn't do the calc. I was like, you know, thinking like Tyranitar. It's max attack, crunch, stab. It's gonna kill the Kyurem, but it actually does not kill the Kyurem. I was like, oh my god, dude, that doesn't kill. And I'm gonna lose my Tyranitar. Man, that really sucks. But at least it's a double down here, and I can still win. It's just I gotta play this right. So it's like, all right, it's a double down. Who do I go out into, and who does he go out into? My play to make is my Mega Altaria, because I can live it. I think he's gonna go Donphan here, because if he goes Klefki, I can go just hard into the Nidoking. But if he goes Donphan, he kind of gets a kill. Well, kind of. I mean, unless I go for Earth Power. But then, I don't know, kind of mind games here. But I decide actually to go out into my Mega Altaria, as he's gonna go out into the Donphan here. And I'm gonna get a Heal Bell off right here, because if I Heal Bell, I can, you know, obviously get rid of the status and then kind of just go from there. As he's gonna hit me with the Play Rough. Holy crap! I did not expect it to have. Well, obviously, you know, he was probably gonna have maybe some sort of. I mean, Earthquake still would have done a lot of damage, but dude, that does a lot of damage here. So here. Alright, it's kind of a 50-50, because I might be able to kill him with the Double Edge here, but I'm actually going to predict him to switch out into the Klefki, because he can live a hit, and I'm just going to fire off a Roost. And man, this is really coming down to the wire, as here I can go out into my Nidoking, and he goes for a Thunder Wave, and now I can just fire off a Flamethrower, and I think win the game, because because Flamethrower 2 KOs to the... If he goes Klefki, I have my Mega Altaria, and it's not statused anymore. So if he stays in and he sacks his Klefki, I win with Mega Altaria. But if he switches into the Donphan, I 2-KO with Flamethrower, and I win the game here. So the game's gonna be decided here. I've already won the game because I can just... What? He's cussed that very Donphan. I didn't even consider that either. Yet again, very, very good prep. And it's going to cost me the game here. I do have the Mega Altaria, and Mega Altaria can actually, like, it can take Dazzling Gleams or Flash Cannons from the Klefki, and it only does around 40%, but then I'm, you know, he has Prankster Thunder Wave, and then I'm just kind of playing around with that. I can still win, kind of, but not really, as he's going to choke the game! Double Edge doesn't kill. Oh my god. If I had killed, I would have won the game. I do not. Why did you make that play? You have the game. Just sack the Donphan. Go out in the Klefki. Click Thunder Wave. Click Flash Cannon. Whatever. I don't know why. Because if I killed, the game was over. I could have got the crit. I could have won. And here I'm gonna click Roost because it's my only play here, and I get paralyzed, and you know, eventually you were probably, I could have eventually, you know, Roost, Heal Bell, and I would have actually 1v1, but eventually I would have got Thunder Waved here. So yeah, he gets game 1 and I'm in the back, but I got a lot of information. I honestly, I feel that I played horribly this game. I'm kind of disappointed in my playing. I made a couple, you know, bad misplays that somewhat, you know, I did have a clear win condition that with the Scarf Nidoking, was like, alright, I have the win con, I'm setting up for it, I've done what I needed to do, I'm just going to win with it, and he ends up having something that I didn't expect. Very good prep, but it's like, alright, now I'm actually going to really have to try these next 2 games. And so we're going to see, can your boy Iron Flash Gaming come back and support our NPL, the good NPL, and kind of go from there. So thank you guys for watching this. Stay tuned. Till next time, signing out. Peace.